Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. A few months back, a company called Scoutlite got in touch about a new product that they were bringing to Kickstarter. Now I will say, with Kickstarter, some things are kind of hit and miss. I do get contacted by companies and like, oh, would you like, and I'm not sure it fits or it suits. With these, I saw these straight away and thought, yes, they are very cool. So this is the Scoutlite BlinkO. These are very clever and I like what they're doing with these. So I run 3 or 4 times a week, especially coming into these winter months now. I'll be running in the morning either at 6 AM or 6:30, or I run in the evening, definitely when it's gone dark. It's around 8 o'clock. So being able to be seen whilst in the dark is incredibly important to me for my safety, and this is where these BlinkOs come in and how these work perfectly. Let's turn the camera around and we'll take a closer look. Now Scoutlite were good enough to send me they've sent me 2 of the BlinkOs and some of the accessories that go with them. But I just want to point out at this point that the branding, the packaging that this has come in, these are pre-production versions. I'm very positive that the campaign for this will be a huge success. So if you do decide to back this campaign, or if you're watching this in the future after the campaign has been successful, you will definitely notice that when these come out to you, that the packaging will change. But I thought it would be useful at this point just to be clear why the packaging is quite scantily clad as far as information. Now by default, so this is the Scout BlinkO, or sorry, the Scoutlite BlinkO. What you get inside the box for this unit is the light, which is, if I just separate that from the second, you get this light here. You also get a clip as well that it magnetizes onto, and then you can clip that onto. We will have a look at the clip and the accessories as well, and then you also get a USB Type-C charger. Hopefully, as you will probably have guessed, this does charge via USB Type-C. So underneath here there is a small charging port. You lift this up. Now as far as the IP rating, the dust and water rating is concerned for this, it's IPX5, which is fine if you're out, if you're in showers, if you're... I mean, the way that this is designed, I've been using this whilst out running. Luckily, apart from this morning when I did have a bit of a downpour, but it wasn't too bad. Didn't get that wet. But it's designed for outdoors. It's designed for the winter or dark events where you want to be seen. So making sure that it's as waterproof as possible makes perfect sense. It would be nicer for a little bit more, but I think for how this is designed, hopefully you're never going to submerge this, and if it does fall off and it lands on the floor, you can drop this for up to about 1.5 meters. You're not going to have any issues with that. The USB charger plugs in and it will work whilst it's charging, but what I will say is, one thing to point out, so when I push this in, this is something that I always test, so as this goes into there is little to no give either side of this. So this one fits in there perfectly. I tested 5 other USB chargers and only 2 of the other ones, which were Nightcore chargers actually. The ones that come with Nightcore flashlights, they fit in. This isn't because it's a proprietary one, this is just a standard USB charger. But because there is very little clearance either side of there, if you have one where the plastic around here is reasonably fat, it just won't push in. It doesn't push in far enough for you to be able to get a charge. So the ones that it comes with it are, they're perfect. They're designed to work with this. But you just might need to be careful if you have other ones that you're choosing to use. Might have to just maybe shave down some of the plastic so that it fits in. But fits in really well with this one, and then you push in the little bung that's in there, and then it fits in nice and snug. Whilst I've been running with this, taking it on, put on and off again, I've not had any instances where the bung has come out, which I'm quite happy that it fits in there snugly. On the rear of here, there's almost like, it feels like a rubbery gasket. That mainly is so that it fits on here and it doesn't slide around, but that will also afford you some water resistance, especially if you've got water coming into this. It will help to stop some of the water being able to go down the back. Now, kind of skipped a few steps there. Usually I talk about sizes. The size of this, it comes in at roughly 45mm by 45mm. You can see there that it's pretty much a perfect circle. They designed this, which I love the fact that they designed this on the look and feel of a black hole, but where you get that event horizon as it goes through the black hole, that's what it's designed to look like. There's a large array of LEDs within this. And there are actually two types of LED. You've got either a red light or an orange light, and it fully encompasses this. The maximum output, in fact the only output, there aren't, like to say, different settings, is 20 lumens, which does a very good job, especially the way that the reflectors within here have been designed. So as this faces out, it helps to project a lot of that light and spread a lot of that light within the prisms within here, which does a very good job of making it appear that there is more light than 20 lumens. The internal battery on this is 160 milliamp hours. So I've had these now for a good couple of months. I've been running with these 2-3 times a week. One time I run, it's not dark, and I haven't had to recharge these. Haven't got any information on the maximum run time, but there will be some more information, on the Kickstarter about that. However, I will say that they've been great. Been able to charge these is relatively easy. I've been keeping this in my car with a USB cable, so whilst I'm driving to and from places, just keep it charging on the media unit in my car, and not had any worries. It just recharges. The way in which that it works is very simple. So you have this button here on the front. So this black unit here in the center, there is a button directly into the middle of this. You do a long press and that will turn it on, and then you can see that it is now on. What I love about this, there is some beautiful witchcraft in this. If I turn this one on, oh, we're on a different mode. Let's put this on the same mode. No. It syncs. How sick is that? When I first started playing around with these, I thought I just turned it on. Oh, hold on, let's get this back again. Wait, and it'll go, oh, and then it'll sync. So let's turn this off. And no matter how you turn this on, it will recognize that there's another one close, it'll take a beat, and then it will sync them back up again. That is sick. I mean, again, I'm a bit of a geek, and I love this stuff that does this sort of stuff. So the modes on here, to change between each of the different modes, to turn it on you do a long press, to turn it off you do a long press, and that will turn that off. So let's turn this back on again, long press to turn it on. They will sync. Oh, they haven't synced. Let's turn it back and turn it back off again. Now they'll sync. There you go. In fact, to go between the different settings, there are five different settings. There's this one that's more like a blink. You press it, do a single press, and then you have these quicker ones where it counts to 3, similar to like an SOS. Then you have a constant on. This one, which I believe is called like a breathing mode, so it's just nice and kind of sedate. And then there is the read back round to the blink again. If you want to, this, so as mentioned, there's 2 light sources with this. There is the red light that is here. Then if I do a double press, we then have an orange light. Now, this is where the geek in me, if any of you have ever played the Division games, if you're into cosplay and you like the Division, you can have one of these on the back of your backpack and you can have one of these on your wrist and you look like one of the Division operators. Let's hear in the comments if you played the Division 2 and how much you freaking love that game. Anyway, so the settings on each of these, as you saw me cycling through those, are the same as well. Now, if I just turn these off, there are some other accessories that they did send to me. There are some other accessories they did send to me as well. So the first one being, this, oh, there we go, you have a wrist strap. So the one that clips to you, it has a reasonably tough clip, I will say. So whilst I've been running, I have been using the clip more so, mainly because you can just clip it to more things. But the magnet on the back does an incredibly good job of keeping it on there. No hits or bumps, it's not fallen off in any of the runs that I've done. If you want to make sure that it is a little bit more secure to you, then you do have this wrist strap. Now with the clips, if I just bring this one back again, on the clip, on the plate that it sits on, there is a small lip on there, so it does stop it from sliding around a little bit, and then this rubber gasket and the rubber back to this also really helps. Whereas with the wrist strap, if I turn this on its side there, hopefully you can see there's a good 5mm lip on the top and on the bottom there, so when this goes into there it sits really secure. Then you can put this on to your wrist. Now I have a 7.5-inch wrist and it fits with plenty of room, although I have my watch on at the moment, which probably doesn't help. But you can be out, you can be running with this. Oh, let's turn you back on. You could have one on each wrist if you wanted to, or you know, you can have it wherever. The wrist straps on these are really nice. It's that I've seen these on Apple Watches. It's hook and loop, but it's almost like a loose hook and loop, almost like a terry toweling kind of material. And then here you have some of that new hook and loop, the hooks. So when it hooks onto here, it's good and secure. Now, if you are using this and you're out running and you want to wash this, don't worry, you can still do that. So if you unthread it here, then unthread it through here, you can keep this separate, and then you can then add this to the wash to make sure that it doesn't smell too bad, and then you can put it back on, string it through there and there again. What I will say is as well, so it doesn't matter which side you string this in, there's no, it's ambidextrous, I guess, or it's symmetrical. You can put it in either side. There's no kind of, you have to kind of do it this way. You can do it and or. So that will keep it to your wrist. There is another solution as well, which is this one, which allows you to put it round your neck. This reminds me a lot of those Insta360 cameras where you get the little, you get that, oh, put my teeth back in. You get that neck lanyard you can wear around your neck. You can then put this underneath a t-shirt, whatever it is that you're wearing, clip that to the front, and it will magnetize on there so that it's on whilst you're running. So let's have a look at these whilst I'm stood up. With the BlinkO on its clip like it is now, I found that this is the most useful and it's the most versatile, mainly because you can pretty much attach this anywhere to an open button, to your top, to your collar, you know, pretty much anywhere. If it is that you're running and you want to have this clipped to your back, you can just clip it onto your waistband. If you're cycling maybe and you want to attach this to your back as well, you can do that. Very good for cycling. But you know, it's always there, always handy, so that if you just need to clip it to something, you can do. On the wrist, put it on the opposite wrist this time. But locking that into place, no matter how much you run and shake your wrist, it just simply isn't coming off. I think with that extra lip that it does have around here, mainly because if anything, you're probably going to bump something with your wrist whilst you're out running or you're doing something with this. It makes perfect sense that that extra lip is on here to make sure it's secure as possible. Then after that, what you might not be able to see is I have that neck lanyard on here, so that whilst I'm out, if I want to just attach it Tony Stark style right in the middle of my chest, it's there. But again, so that will keep on there. I will admit though, I mean, it's on there good and fast, but this is the one that makes me worried the most, mainly because there's no lip that would stop it from being knocked. Now, just pulling it like that, it does take quite a bit to be able to pull it free from the magnet, so it's probably just me worrying a little bit too much. I'm sure Scoutlite have tested it, but having it here on that's the one that I worry about the most. But for me, the clip being the most versatile is the one that I've used the most whilst I've been testing this, and also the wrist strap. Now let's go down to the lake and have a quick look at these in the dark. So I thought we'd come out into the woods, and the lovely Adelheid, my daughter, is helping us with the lights. So Adelheid has one on the back of her head and also the one that's down here, that's on her wrist. So as it stands, I'm about 1 meter or 2 away. So let's come 3, 4. So now we're about 5 meters away, and it's just incredibly easy to see. You certainly don't have any difficulties being able to see it from this distance. The pulsating light really does attract you to it, and hopefully you can see those 20 lumens are really kind of flooding out onto the greenery that's around her. And then the one on the back of her neck is showing really strong as well. So let's come back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, roughly about 10 meters away now. Certainly no issues being able to see her. Hides, can you take 5 steps forward, 5 big steps? So there we are, 50 meters away. Just again, so if I move the camera over here, hopefully you'll be able to see the yellow light or the orange light is shining still, again, quite a lot of light onto the bush that's right next to her, and then the one that's still again on the back of the neck. Very, very easy to see. Do you want to take another 5 steps, Hides? Now on the camera, they are starting to look small now. It's one of the downsides of filming in the dark. However, I can definitely see Adelheid with no issues whatsoever. What are we now? Was this about 20 meters? Go on, Hides, another 5. Nearly fell over. Well, now we've just got a bit of shrubbery in between us. However, still now 20, 25, 30 meters away, absolutely no issues being able to see these. In fact, let's get a little bit closer. Let's follow the path. There she is. Getting closer. Really easy to see. So impressed with the light, considering it's only 20 lumens, the amount of light that the reflectors and the prisms within each of the BlinkOs creates is, yeah, very impressive. Now that we're in the winter months, keeping visible or being able to be seen by somebody whilst on the road or wherever you are, even being able to use these to signal people if you got lost whilst you're out and about. I guess one of the other things that I haven't mentioned is, you know, these attach to you via a magnet. So if you're out, maybe keep a couple of these in your car so that maybe you've broken down and you just want to attach something to that's metal so that you can be seen, or your car can be seen. Use this as a signal kind of light. They're definitely multifunctional and multi-use, but for me the key takeaway for these is just the ability to be seen in the dark so that you don't get hit, run over, or, you know, whatever might possibly happen to you whilst out running, cycling, walking, or whatever. Really do like these. That techie nerd in me with a circular kind of, I know I said it before, the Division games, but yeah, really cool. Now, as I mentioned a few times, these have just gone live on Kickstarter. I'll leave some links below so that you can see more from Scoutlite and the BlinkO and their Kickstarter campaign. Yes, I'll leave those all below. I'll also leave some of my social media links as well so that you can see more from me here on Moorlander EDC and my sister channel Moorlander Tactical. And whether you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. Oh, still recording. This is the bit that I meant about if you play the Division. The Division watches, they had like, it was just a full circle, wasn't it? And then there was always one on the back. That was me being a Division operator. See how tactical and like cool I looked. Let's take this off for a sec.